I think with the Saints, I think it's a lot of what the Saints fans feel. I think y'all team feel. I think y'all really believe that y'all still amongst the cream of the crop of the NFC, and y'all not. Not even close.
Winston on first and goal to the end zone. Touchdown, Michael Thomas.
You're not even going to be on top of this division. You're not even going to be second in this division.
That they're about to play. Bring more pressure.
Winston, soft touch. It's Thomas.
And I really believe that y'all really think that y'all still are pretty damn good, but y'all not.
Winston throws, end zone, touchdown! It's Thomas again!
I think we gonna humble y'all, not for just one game, but for 2 games. Y'all gonna get humbled.
Trailing by 2. Winston with loads of time, fires downfield, and Landry makes a spectacular catch!
Because we're gonna knock you in the mouth. Because these ain't the pushover, run over Falcons from the past.
Will Lutz from 51 to give New Orleans the lead. It is good.
This ain't the Falcons that everybody's see on their schedule and mark a check next to it for a win.
And the Saints win the season opener in dramatic come-from-behind fashion, trailed by 16 points in the fourth quarter.
This ain't gonna be that Falcons. Y'all got the honor this year of being the first victim. To be the first example. Y'all had the honor of being that this year.
What's going on, Who Dat Nation? It is yours truly, TJ Jones, the host of the State of the Saints podcast. Thank you so much for checking out the State of the Saints podcast, where we talk New Orleans Saints, and we are the podcast that keep receipts. Thank you so much for allowing the State of the Saints podcast for being a part of your listening pleasure as I adjust this webcam just a tad bit. Man, boy, I tell you what. What y'all heard last week, I had the privilege of being on the Atlanta Falcons Nation podcast. Shouts out to those brothers, inviting me over. It was, they was real about their team, man. They talked, as y'all can see, a lot of noise. But this is one of the main reasons, Who Dat Nation, when I talk about the New Orleans Saints, I am objective. I don't allow my hatred for a team to pucker up and get me off my position. Because you might end up saying some ridiculous stuff like this. The Atlanta Falcons, I will admit, the Atlanta Falcons are a better football team this season from last season. I will give them that. But to go out of the window, to get all fired up because you heard a couple press conferences where your defensive coordinator was talking all that noise and talking about you want a different defense and all that kind of stuff, and you want to be rough and tough and, and can't get enough and all that kind of stuff. And you just think that because he's saying all this, you get all this type of optimism inside of you, and you just honestly believe that the New Orleans Saints are just going to bow down to you. That's the reason why you shouldn't just watch shows that validate your personal interests. When you see people talking about the New Orleans Saints are going to fall by the wayside because they don't have Sean Payton and they don't have Drew Brees anymore, and a lot of people just honestly believe that this organization, these players, aren't built for it tough. And this team was down 26-10 late in the fourth quarter. Jameis Winston, and I will admit, did not play well in the first three quarters. But something happened when he went into that medical tent. I thought that Andy Dalton was going to come into the game because I was at the game and I seen Andy Dalton warming up and I seen Jameis Winston going to the medical tent. I'm like, oh, snap. I like, they about to put Andy in. Jameis comes out of the tent and goes 16 of 19 for 212 yards and 2 touchdowns and a perfect passer rating in the fourth quarter. It's as if the Atlanta Falcon faithful don't realize that their team historically are choke artists. No matter what the score is, no matter what the deficit is, no lead is safe for the Atlanta Falcons. That's why I allowed those gentlemen to talk all that noise. They brought up stuff about Lil Wayne not being a fan of New Orleans. They talk about people being fair weather fans. But I tell you what, Who That Nation, I must say, it don't get much fair weather. Then I actually was at the game and I'm watching row 100, row 200, empty seats, 10 minutes into the game. There was some empty seats all around there. Now, the Falcon fans that were there were loud, but the stadium was pretty much empty, right? Conditional love. Conditional, right? But anyway, they was loud, they was proud. And you would think that they would learn their lesson. I'm seeing people like DC Young Fly, when the score was 26-10, he all on there talking bad about the Saints. You had people that was in the crowd, talking all that noise. And for this to happen yet again, how can you honestly say that you are confident, no matter what the lead is, that your team may have, as long as they have time on the clock? How? But I allowed them to talk their noise, and now they're eating a lifetime supply of crow today. You do not count out a team that has shown you throughout time, from the Washington Redskin game with a comeback, you know what I'm saying, some of these other late game heroics in Chicago. This team, as long as they got time, they believe that they're going to win. And Atlanta Falcons, as long as they got time, they're going to choke. Now, there are some honorable mentions. Who That Nation. I must say, I got to give honorable mention to the defensive coordinator and the head coach of the Atlanta Falcons. Thank you. Thank y'all so much. Thank y'all so much for being the cowards and the fearful guys that we need in order for us to win this football game. Because if you look at when they were up 26-10, they started to play prevent defense, and that opened up the field. They started playing soft coverage, and I'm like, what are they doing? I was in the stadium. I'm like, what are they doing? They did it way too early into the game. And that's when you start to see Jameis like connecting down the field. And that is the reason why you go out here to get guys like Jarvis Landry and Chris Olave. That's the reason why you go out here and get some of these guys, because they're able to make these catches. You remember we talked about this last year, right? We talked about the wide receivers. These guys don't make contested catches, right? They got to pretty much be open. They got to pretty much be open in order for the New Orleans Saints, you know what I'm saying, to be able to go down the field. Can y'all hear me? Can anybody hear me? I see somebody saying I don't have no audio. So do I have audio? Can y'all hear me? Can somebody tell me, can y'all hear me? And then I'll continue. Okay. All right. So he's saying it works now. Okay. Thank y'all. But anyway, Now you have receivers that are able to catch the ball with contested catches like Jarvis Landry, Chris Olave, great route runner, able to catch some of those tough catches. Michael Thomas, who all these people out here, they telling me, oh, slant boy, he running slants. All we got to do is worry about the slant. This man was catching fade routes. This man was catching back shoulder fades. This man was catching 50-50 balls. So for all those individuals out here that's tall and slant boy, look, I've been telling people for years, the reason why Michael Thomas ran so many slants was because Drew Brees' arm strength and his inability to push the ball down the field. Somebody please tell me, why in the world would you ask Michael Thomas to run 20 yards down the field if the quarterback can't throw the ball down the field? I mean, it's like they don't realize that when the Saints are trying to throw the ball deep down the field, they didn't bring in Taysom Hill to do that. But of course, that's the narrative they want to keep because they want to be under the impression that this dude isn't as good as it seemed. But he went up against what the Atlanta Falcons called a lockdown, shutdown corner. That's what they told me. They told me AJ Terrell was a problem. They had somebody on social media telling everybody, oh, AJ Terrell is Michael Thomas's daddy. That's what they said, right? And, you know, the only game Michael Thomas played versus the game yesterday was, you know, when Michael Thomas had a hurt ankle and he went for 100 in that game. This dude got embarrassed. Okay, so that was the narrative, in my opinion, that died yesterday. And now, if you're a fan of another team, anywhere in this division, you ought to be nervous. Because I'm going to tell you this, the Saints aren't going to play any worse than they did yesterday. Their offense is not going to be as stagnant as it was yesterday. They're only going to get better. So for all those people out here that's talking about, oh man, they was struggling, they only going to get better as time go on. And you can't zero in on just one person because you've seen it. Jarvis Landry had 7 catches for over 100 yards. We had 112, 114 yards or something like that. Michael Thomas had 5 catches, 54 yards, and 2 touchdowns. And, you know, Chris Olave converted a 2-point conversion, and he was able to sustain some drives. And not to mention Jawan Johnson, who, honestly, I think the light has come on. To me, now, some people probably get mad at this because you probably just remember only one moment, but he's starting to look like Jared Cook out there. He's starting to look like Jared Cook. I don't think people understand how good Jared Cook is because, you know, the whole fumble, you know, on a third down kind of clouds your judgment. But he was looking pretty doggone good. And you have Taysom Hill out here. Like, the Saints have weapons. Now, that offensive line got whooped. Offensive line got whooped. Defensive line got whooped. There was little to no pressure. Grady Jarrett pushed away 2 guys in order to get a sack. Like, you got to clean that kind of stuff up right there. I mean, you can fix things, and it's easy to fix things, and it's better to fix things when you win. Now, like I said, I will give credit where credit is due. The Atlanta Falcons look much better, but you can't underestimate the heart of a champion. You can't. But I'm gonna read some of your comments. Oh yeah, I have to. I guess if you're just joining us, I guess you're probably wondering to yourself, who won the game yesterday?
Not Atlanta. Nope.
Okay, I'm just trying to make sure. Okay, the Saints won yesterday, right? Let me make sure again. Who won the game yesterday?
Not Atlanta. Nope.
Okay, thank you. Let's go to the comments, and let's see. I'm gonna scroll back up a little bit because I know it was quite a bit. Brian, thank you very much for the $10. Says, who that, TJ? After heart attack, great win for Jameis and the team. Yeah, it was a great win, great team win, great confidence booster. I mean, that was a team win. It took everybody in order to get that win. Defense had to make some stops. The offense had to make some plays. But like I said, Dean Peeves and Arthur Smith are the 2 players of the game, in my opinion, because Arthur Smith's fear, I mean, honestly, how crazy can you be? It's 3rd and 1, right? It's 3rd and 1. Marcus Mariota fumbles, right? You don't get a yard, right? You get back to the line of scrimmage. You don't get the first down. Okay. 4th and 1. You decide to take a delay of game penalty to push the yards back so the punter can have more, more field to work with. Meanwhile, your wide receiver / running back, Cordell Patterson, let me pull up his stats. He had 22 carries for 120 yards. This man was averaging 5.5, almost 6 yards a carry. And you only needed 1 yard. 1. Man, you can talk about Sean Payton till you blue in the face, but Sean Payton would never. If you can't get 1 yard when a game on the line, chips on the table, you don't deserve to win the football game. And that is one of the main reasons why the Atlanta Falcons are going to continue to be in ineptitude. That's why they're going to continue to be inept, because you got to be able to be fearless. And that type of play, in my opinion, that tells you that as a player that my coach don't trust me. I mean, honestly, you had a guy who had 20 carries for 122 yards, and this man averaging 6 yards a carry. This man basically running guys over, and you're not gonna run the football. You're gonna punt it away. That type of management right there will get you beat. You gotta be able to be bold and take risk. And they ain't do that. They didn't do it. So from the bottom of my heart, I want to say thank Dean Peeves, the defensive coordinator, and I also want to thank Coach Arthur Smith, because without you, I don't think this victory would be possible. I really don't. So thank you for that calamity towards the end. Roderick, thank you very much for the $20. Says, bro, this team is very, very dangerous, very resilient. Jameis looks so crisp on those late drives. Well, we do need to clean up on defense, though. Where was Turner and Davenport? Well, look, nobody got pressure. And that was one of the concerns I had going into the season, because even though the New Orleans Saints defense was looking pretty decent out there in preseason, they weren't getting any pressure on the quarterback. But some people might say because you have yourself a running quarterback, it's kind of hard to get a sack on this guy, because, he's always moving around in the pocket and he's escaping anytime, his one read isn't open. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't go through his progressions, right? As soon as he sees the hot receiver, it being covered or something like that, and all of a sudden he just takes off. All right. So it's kind of hard for them to get sacks. But what I'm saying is, when he did, stand in the pocket, I didn't see many Saints players getting him off his spot. So that is very concerning. It's rather two things. It's rather the defensive line of the New Orleans Saints was getting whooped because the offensive line of the Falcons has improved, or just the fact that maybe, Marcus Mariota's escapability was really causing them problems. I don't know. But you have to be able to get pressure on a quarterback. Next week, you have a better chance to do so, because you're going up against Tom Brady. He's no Marcus Mariota. So you have an opportunity. But we know that Tom Brady going to get that ball out of his hands real quick, especially since they've been dealing with issues with the offensive line. Boy, I tell you, our light came on in that fourth quarter. Man, that was crazy. Like, the way that they were driving that ball down the field, boom, 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 boom. I mean, it was just unbelievable, man. And the crazy thing about it is, the three guys that we have been so hopeful about were contributing in a major way. Michael Thomas with the 2 touchdowns, right? You had Jarvis Landry, was catching these like circus-like catches when they needed it. You even had Chris Olave converting a 2-point conversion. So, man, like I said, it took an entire team to win. Special teams, Will Lutz missing that field goal early in the game, redeeming himself. And in a way, I'm kind of, this may sound crazy, but I'm kind of glad he missed that field goal, because that woke him up. Like, okay, man, I gotta get focused. And I'm just glad they got this victory. It's I think Dennis Allen said this. It's easy to fix the mistakes in a win versus having a sense of urgency in a loss, and trying to fix mistakes. Lee, thank you very much for the 199. Says all that J-Bo not clutch talk, that she is dead. Yeah. Look, here's the thing. I want to know, and I'm about to be on my bullhorn real quick. I actually let y'all bear with me, but this needs to be said. Where are all those talking heads that was talking all that noise about Jameis Winston playing and how the Saints can't win and Jameis Winston is your quarterback, and the question, everybody who is a fan of another team, when you talk about the Saints, who y'all quarterback? If Tom Brady, if Aaron Rodgers, heck, if Kirk Cousins did what Jameis did in the fourth quarter, they'll be singing this dude praises from the mountaintops to the valley low. They'll be talking about how great this guy is. They'll be putting them in MVP conversations. They'll be doing all these things, but they talk so much noise because it's not a part of a narrative. It's not a part of the narrative that they have been trying to put about Jameis. They are trying, like, honestly, it's getting like borderline. It's getting borderline stereotypical and borderline prejudice. Because here's the thing. When you talk about Jameis Winston, they're not talking about him as a quarterback. Half of the time, they're not even talking about his mistakes. They talk about his interviews, some of the things that he say. I feel like people are laughing at him, not laughing with him. Like you see most people like talking about the eating the W's, and then he, had the whole body thing that he was talking about. You know what I'm saying, in the press conference. They do all these different things to try to laugh at this dude, and then they bring up 30 for 30, him throwing all these interceptions. It's as if Jameis Winston is like the poster boy, like for football comedy or something like that. And nobody give this dude the credit. But there has been crickets today. I have been looking high and low for New Orleans Saints commentary because for weeks, when we were going into the 2022 season, they were talking about the Saints' potential, and everybody was talking about Jameis Winston and how, because Jameis Winston is the Saints quarterback, they can't win. That's what they say. That's what they continue to say. If Jameis Winston, y'all know I'm telling the truth, and I don't care if you are a talking head, and I don't care if you are part of the mainstream media and you watching this, I'm talking about you. If Jameis Winston would have threw 2 interceptions late in the fourth quarter instead of 2 touchdowns, they would have led off every single mainstream sports show with Jameis Winston throwing those interceptions. First things first would have did it. Get Up would have did it. First Take probably would have done it. Everybody would have been talking about Jameis Winston throwing those interceptions. There is a narrative that is continuously going on with this dude. There's a narrative that continues to go over, that happens over and over and over again about this guy, and people seem to not want to wake up. And here's the thing. Jameis Winston isn't as bad as people make him out to be. But when you have national media talking heads who have influence, because they know what they're doing, they write these articles, they get on television, and if you are just a casual fan of other NFL teams, you're not following all 32 teams, you're only following one. So 31 teams you're learning about through the national media. So if they say, oh, this running back sucks, oh, this cornerback can't cover, oh, this quarterback it stinks, guess what's going to happen? When you get into a conversation talking about the Saints, the first thing they're going to bring up is Jameis Winston not being capable of playing a quarterback position. And they're going to continue to bring up the 30 for 30. And here's the thing. They've been trying to tell you that Michael Thomas is damaged goods. Think about this, folks. They're trying to tell you that Michael Thomas is damaged goods. Back in 2019, he won Offensive Player of the Year. And they'll say, oh, 2019, oh, that was so long ago, right? But then they'll turn around and bring up 2019 and talk about Jameis Winston 30 interceptions. But they act like that happened yesterday. This dude has been on the New Orleans Saints team going on 3 freaking seasons. 3. And they still talking about that 30 for 30. But you're going to tell me that Michael Thomas, Offensive Player of the Year production, 149 receptions, 1,700 yards is ancient history? So why isn't the 30 interceptions that he threw in 2019 ancient history? It's because they got a narrative going on about this dude, and you have people out here that are being very reckless in their commentary. And then you add on the antics and people just saying, pulling up like comments that he says and talking about, trying to make him out to just be this clown. Don't tell me the media can't make you the biggest hero or the biggest villain. We've seen this so many times. We've seen the people that have come it seemed like they came off Mount Olympus, right? The way that the media big up them, make them the biggest thing since sliced toast bread, and they tear them down the first chance that they get. They do it. But they've been doing this to this dude every single year since he's been in the National Football League. They have been clowning this dude, and no matter how successful he is in a game, no matter how many touchdowns he throws, no matter how many touchdowns to interceptions, he has, people are always trying to do this. But what they're not telling you is that Jameis Winston is 6-2 as a starting quarterback of the New Orleans Saints. And as of right now, he has 16 touchdowns and 3 interceptions in his last 2 seasons since he's been a starter for the team. So let them run that. Let them run that. Oh, yeah. And another thing, Aaron Rodgers has an interception. Josh Allen has an interception. Tom Brady has an interception. All those great guys who you talk about and you big up and you talk about how great and they're going to be in MVP conversations, guess who don't have an interception? Jameis Winston doesn't. So take that to the bank. The next time that y'all start talking about that, how about bringing that up? How about bringing up that perfect quarterback rating in the fourth quarter? But guess what? We all know, once again, if he would have went out there in the fourth quarter and threw 2 interceptions, everybody would have been talking about it. Everybody would have been, look at him. I told you, Jameis Winston is not a good quarterback. I told you. Now you're going to act like it don't happen. But guess what? Just like I had on the Atlanta Falcons podcast, I got the receipts. You can run, but you can't hide, because I'm going to find you, and I'm going to call you out. You can talk about the dude if he didn't have a good game, fine, whatever, right? But if you're going to talk about a guy for having a bad game, keep that same energy coming on national television and saying you're wrong. It's okay. It's okay to say, oh, I didn't get it right. All these excuses, all this, but when around the third quarter in 5 minutes, I was right. I was right for about 3 quarters. I was right on that one play. Man, shut up. All that stuff right there is a bunch of white noise. Okay, I understand that being on television is about credibility and getting it right, but come on, man. Like, you gotta give props what props is due, and I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it, man. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of them hiding the imperfections of the guys they love, that they want to big up and want to make the league surround around. Like, when I love them, like, real talk, I love them. Joe Burrow threw 4 interceptions yesterday, but I ain't seeing nobody talking about that, and they lost. I ain't seeing people talking about him like that. They protect the ones that they look at as the future of the NFL. They protect those guys, and they hide their imperfections, right? But I don't think that they want Jameis having a seat at the table. They don't. They do not want this man to have a seat at the table. So they're going to hide his perfections and highlight his imperfections because he's their guy. He's their guy to basically just ish on. But I'm calling you out. Like peep game. Like peep game, folks. Seriously. Go and peep game. Check it out. Don't just trust me. Go take a look at it yourself and see how they navigate through the guys that they look at as the chosen ones. And how they just completely just destroy the ones that they feel like shouldn't have a seat at the table. And Jameis is one of those guys they don't want to be at that table. Vito in the house. Thank you very much for the $4.99. Says they love saying Christian McCaffrey is still that dude and he hasn't played since 2019, but not Mike T. Exactly. They have their picks and chooses, right? And honestly, it has a lot to do with the fact that Christian McCaffrey is a running back unicorn. He's a white guy who runs really well, and he's a good running back. So they're going to continue to big up that, right? You know, I ain't trying to dismiss Cooper Kupp. He's really good, but 13 receptions. Like, I don't think they would be putting them in these type of conversations like they do. They have their guys, right? I'm just being serious. They have their guys, and I don't feel like I'm being, you know what I'm saying? I don't feel like I don't feel bad for saying this because all sports do it, right? It's like, once again, I talked about this before. Back when Jeremy Lin played for the New York Knicks, and you know what I'm saying, he was getting to the goal, he was driving to the lane or what have you, and they made this big old campaign called Insanity. You ain't about to tell me that the reason why he was so polarizing because he was an Asian guy that had handle. Don't tell me that. So if they have a white guy that's elusive, you know what I'm saying, that can run between the tackles, that can break yards, or a white guy that can run, you know what I'm saying, and catch really, you know what I'm saying, good passes and run really good routes, they're going to elevate those guys because they're unicorns, and they're going to make those guys polarizing. So the reason why Christian McCaffrey is in that position, look, I can name at least 4 running backs better than Christian McCaffrey right now. Right now, I could. But, of course, like I said, they got to keep him in that position because, you know, he's one of those football unicorns. And I know somebody might get mad at me. Oh, it has absolutely nothing to do with color. Man, knock it off. Okay? Knock it off. I'm not saying that he's not good. He's really good. But I'm saying for them to continue to put him, like giving him high ratings on Madden, continue to who's the top 5 running backs in the league? Christian McCaffrey. You got to put him in there. Why? Right? If we talking about top 5 receivers and we holding on to the days of yesteryear in 2019, then that means Michael Thomas should still be top 5 in the National Football League. Right? I mean, keep the same energy. That's all I'm saying. Keep the same energy if you're going to continue to feed these narratives. Can we talk about Pete Werner, though? Fire, who didn't even have a training camp. Yeah, Pete Werner played outstanding. He had 12 tackles, 11 solo. He had a pass deflection. He had a fumble force. Man was all over the field. Okay, so all those people out there, we need Quan, hit the Quan. Oh, you see what he did? Oh, man, he hit lowered the boom on somebody in preseason. See, that's why we need him back. Where those people at today? I told you. The reason why Quan Alexander is no longer with the team is because Pete Werner outplayed him. Y'all may not want to accept that. I know he went to LSU, and I know he was in the circle with the Solo Cup, and that was cool, right? He got you fired up and made you feel good about yourself. Oh, man, the Juice Boys, they here. But guess what, man? We talking about production. And as y'all can see, the Saints made the right decision. The man was flying all over the field. So those people that just wanted Quan Alexander back so badly and felt like Pete Werner was just going to be an afterthought, I hope today that you all learned that, you know, dude pretty doggone good, right? I understand that he doesn't have that level of enthusiasm like Quan. He ain't shaking the dreads, he ain't doing all the little celebrations that Quan did. He ain't in the circle, but the dude is productive. Everybody don't have to do everything for your view and amusing pleasure. Okay, they ain't gotta be turning backflips. They ain't gotta be break dance. They ain't gotta be dancing. They ain't gotta be jumping all up in the stands. You got guys out here that are silent assassins, and you need silent assassins sometimes. Marcus Colston was a silent assassin, right? Pete Werner is a silent assassin. In some ways, even Davenport is a silent assassin. You need those guys on your team. And you have guys that are going to be polarizing and they're going to have a lot of charisma. And then you're going to have those guys that just come to work and do their thing and go home. I mean, don't make them any less greater than the guys that say, look at me, or well, look, you know what I'm saying? They garner more attention. Aaron, thank you very much for the $2. I appreciate that. Says, yes, Marvin, I know color does. Eisen had an entire 20-minute segment last week making fun of Jameson's biology lesson he gave on his interview. Watch Rich and you'll get a bad taste in your mouth. Yeah, I mean, look, I already said, I think it's the fact that Jameis, he's a funny guy. I guess because he's unintentionally funny, right? But it's getting to a point where they used to be back, man. I'm sorry, but look, I'm gonna tell it like it is. It used to be back in the day where they used to have these black actors do all these different things, dance and shuck and jive and trip over banana peels and all that kind of stuff. And, oh, it's funny. Oh, look at that. They have them talking, oh, ball. Oh, well, yes. You know what I'm saying? They thought that was the funniest thing in the world. I feel like it's almost getting to that point. It's almost getting to that point. Like, I think because, I'm going to say it, he from Alabama. He got that country twang. Sometimes, like some of the words that he may say, may not, go in that particular place. But he, you understand where he's coming from. You understand what he's saying. I think, when he has that thing where his eyes get big when he really get excited, they're eating the W's and stuff like that. I think people, you have to be careful right here. Because like I said, he's becoming the NFL punchline. He's becoming and it's no fault of his. Like, they're making him like step and fetch it. And if you haven't heard of that, look it up. That's what it's making it look like. Because when you start seeing talking about biology lessons and, keep on playing, I was hurt all over. I was hurt all over. And all of a sudden, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? They think that's the funniest thing ever. It's becoming a point where they're putting up more Jameis Winston post-game, pre-game commentary than his actual play. And I don't like it. I don't like it. We got 510 people watching this right now. I ask that you hit the like button. And I'm sorry. I know some people may not like what I'm saying right now. They probably roll their eyes, but I don't care. We all we see what's the most, honestly, what's the most video or coverage you see when it comes to Jameis Winston? Eating a W, like him going up to a guy with his eyes poked out or whatever, his eyes, how his eyes get real big. Then, you start talking about the anatomy lesson and stuff like that. They talk about how, how funny he looks like doing these workouts. All these different things, basically, like I said, they're turning this dude into a punchline. Don't believe me. Go look at it. How many times today have you seen that back shoulder fade? I'm talking about on major network. I'm talking about Barstool. I'm talking about NFL on Fox. Yeah, I'm calling them out. I'm calling them out today. How many times did you see that back shoulder fade? And how many times did you see them talking about he was hurt all over? Now I'm serious. No, I think the caption was protect Jameis at all costs. And it wasn't because, he's so good. It's the fact that, I'm hurting all over. Oh, that's funny. They turned this dude, like I said, man, into a walking, talking punchline. And I don't like it. This dude threw two of some of the best passes that, you remember when he said, I can do what your favorite quarterback can do. This dude threw two back shoulder fades in the back of the end zone. I'm talking Rodgers-like. I'm talking Mahomes-like. But you're telling me that the commentary from the game was I'm hurt all over? Isn't that weird? Isn't that weird? Man, we're gonna get into the game and all that kind of stuff there. I got the stats up here, but that needs to be said. And I'm sick, I'm tired of them talking, insulting this dude like this. For real, you don't see this. I'm pretty sure they have other guys that say all these, funny things and funny punch lines and things that you probably can say, oh yeah, he said this, he said that. But they go to great lengths to try to make this dude look like a buffoon. Facts TJ says, but the truth is the Saints and players play as good as they should have yesterday. Honestly, we need to fix the offensive line drastically. We have great players, but they played horrible. Ramsey, you're right. They didn't play well. Look, but you don't get style points for victories. All right, you don't get style points. This ain't the BCS system where you actually had to have style points, because that actually accumulates to you having a better chance at the national championship. It's about wins and losses. And once again, I'd rather have things to fix in a victory. I'd rather have that than trying to fix things in a loss, because that's when you have too many chefs in the kitchen. Oh, we lost because of this. Oh, we lost because of that. No. Now we can buckle down. We got this dub. Okay, that's the positive thing. Now we can build on some of the positive things that we've seen and eliminate some of the negatives. So you ain't getting no style points here. 1 point, like, I guarantee you, 10 games will go by and nobody will be able to tell you the score. You'll be like, yeah, we came from behind. Somebody tell me the score right offhand right now. Don't use Google. Be real with yourself. Let's be on the honest system. Somebody tell me the score of that Washington Saints game where the Saints came back in like the last 5 minutes of the game. Somebody tell me what the final score was without looking at Google. I guarantee you, in the same way as time goes on, people will not remember the score of this game. Now they're going to remember 26-10. Like, just like we remember 28-3, but somebody tell me what the score of that Super Bowl was without looking at Google. So it's about victories, man. Who cares? Like, who cares? Like, look, I'm glad they got the victory. They can fix that. Let's see. Stop talking about race and stop being damn sensitive about Jameis Winston. Larry, get the hell off my show. How about that? How about getting off my show? Don't tell me what to talk about. This is my show. This is the State of Saints podcast. I created that. Let's go. Let's if you want to talk about certain things, why don't you start the Larry show? Then you won't have to talk about what I need to talk about on my show. I talk about what I want to do. I'm not here to put, to make you feel comfortable about yourself. As you can see, dude, I'm black. So if you're not comfortable about race, you're not comfortable about talking about certain things that are obvious, then get off my show. Bye. We don't need you over here. We're going to talk real. We're going to talk about the team, but we're going to talk about some of these situations too. If you don't like it, get off the show. They got plenty more platforms you can go on that you can live in your little fantasy world and your little bubble where things like that don't exist and you can feel comfortable about yourself. But right here, we're going to talk about the things that need to be discussed. Sorry. Next question. Tell me what to do on the show, man. What's wrong with you? Like they don't have any other photos. Exactly. Remember the pick six he threw to Tyreek in exhibition? Yep. Exactly. Y'all, come on now. Come on now. Jameis is one of the most religious players in the league, but they choose to point out goofiness. Nah, it's passion. Yeah. Like I said, I don't like they try to make him funny. It's not intentional. He don't intentionally try to be funny. TJ, I don't disagree with a word you said. J-Rock, thank you very much for the $5, man. Man, it got me fired up, man. Somebody, man, you out your mind. Like, you out your mind, man. Don't tell me what to talk about on my show. I created State of Saints podcast. All these people are here right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, they helped to create this show. We talk about the real on here. You out your mind. Like, for real. Like, sorry about that. Matter of fact, moderators, where y'all at? I don't want to see him on the show no more. Don't tell me what to talk about. I don't feel like I'm being like, don't tell me about that. Because the only reason why you're saying that right now is because you want somebody to make you feel comfortable. Guess what? This is the world we live in. TJ, most of Patterson run yesterday came against the middle of the Saints defensive line. What can they do to shore that up going forward? Yeah, look, here's the thing. They played the game. They played the game yesterday like how the Eagles play the Saints. Like, if you go back and watch that game versus the Eagles, it basically was the same thing. That's how, you had like Curtis Samuels and at the time I want to say Josh Howard. You know what I'm saying? It was getting big chunk yards. So it was the fact that they had to account for Marcus Mariota and the way that they were actually running at RPO. So you had to take that into account. So I think that a lot of those big yards and those big chunk yards became because those guys were trying to dissect who was going to get the ball. So I think when you get to a more like traditional running formation, like next week, I expect for them to be better defensively on the defensive line. It's just something about the RPO game the Saints just haven't figured out. TJ smoking section is now open, folks, except in the troll applications. Nah, we don't need no trolls up in here. And we definitely don't need nobody telling us what we need to talk about here on the show. Larry has heard Cowboys lost or Rams throttled or Packers plummeled. Look, I don't know what you're mad about, but you got to be crazy to think that I'm about to just, create a show, and be oblivious to things like, dude, I'm black. Okay? I'm black. I don't know, contrary to popular belief, I'm black. There are certain things that go on in this world need to be talked about. And it comes into sports. When people say, I don't want to talk about that, like, man, come on, man. We see what's going on. TJ, your expression of Atlanta fans singing the We Ready song, all that for nothing. Thanks for keeping it real. Oh, yeah, we're going to keep it real on here. We ain't about quantity on here. We're about quality. So if you want to, I don't do this show because I can just be adored by millions of people. I do this show because I love it. And the people that roll with it, some things you ain't going to agree with. But we going to talk about some things. Demario Davis kind of had a bad game, and the Honey Badger got ran over 3 times. But he made the tackle, though. So, I mean, that happens. Man, you got to think about it. Tyrann Mathieu is like, I don't even think Tyrann Mathieu, it would be shocking to me if Tyrann Mathieu was 200 pounds. And you had him going up against a 6'4", 230-pound Cordero Patterson. I'm going to put my money on Cordero Patterson. It happens, man. But, I mean, he got the fumble recovery, right? I'm talking Tyrann Mathieu. Demario Davis got that stop in the backfield, that the Saints actually needed in order for them to get the ball back late in the fourth quarter. So, yeah, it wasn't a traditional Demario Davis game. But I think a lot of that stuff had to do, to me, with rust. These guys haven't played in preseason. And they didn't get – you got maybe a couple snaps, if that, in preseason. So I think, you got to think about that. I think the sloppy tackling, being out of position, you have 2 safeties out there, that's learning how to play the position and learn the Saints defense. So, I mean, you're going to have some mistakes. But I don't expect for that to be a reoccurring thing. What I missed, who you having to check, TJ? And it don't even matter anymore. Tim Dunn, you can get the stepping right along with Larry. Look, I don't care. Like, man, first off, I'm gonna be real. Do you think I actually care about you think that I'm like, well, wait a minute, I guess I shouldn't talk. Like, do you really think that I'm gonna do that? I'm not. So I get it. Some people, they fans of the team and stuff like that, and they just want but here's the thing, man, that's not going to stop me from being who I am. It's definitely not going to stop me from talking about the things I feel that needs to be discussed. Larry wishing he would have said anything right now. Yeah. They not used to hearing you stand up for each other, then don't like that. Look, it ain't about standing up. It's about, it's about what's right. Like, it's about, it's about being observant. Like, man, I don't want to get on. Let's get back. Please make me one. I got you, brother. They talked about Jameis like a dog. Let's boot Larry. I didn't recognize any sports guys referring to Winston's race, and he's a goofy guy. There's a such thing as semantics, Larry. There's a such thing as semantics, right? I can't believe I'm about to explain this. Back in the 60s, they didn't just come up, African Americans. I'm going to say it because it's like you ask questions, I'm going to give you an example. They walked into the voter's office. They didn't say, you black, get the heck up out of here. You ain't voting for nothing. What they do? What did they do? They put tests together and they made it very, very complicated in order for them to do it. Case in point, they didn't want them to vote. So they're not going to come out here and say, oh, Jameis is a goofy, foolish individual. They're not going to say this. But come on, man. 2 + 2 is 4. Like, you're not a horse. They don't have to lead you to the water. Like, you should be able to dissect it. They're not going to blatantly come out here and say it. Not in 2022, at least. So you got to be able to put 2 and 2 together. And you look at it. If he's a football player and you're seeing more of his transgressions, more so than the positive things that he does, how do you not concede to the fact that there is something weird going on? How do you not do that? I'll tell you why. Because we want to believe that the world is a certain place. And we surround ourselves with individuals and things that actually validate our way of thinking. And as long as we do that, then I feel sorry for individuals like that. Link for what reason? I don't know what we're talking about here. 528 people watching this right now. Actually, hit the like button and subscribe if you're new to the channel. But let's go ahead and get to some stats, man. We'll get to some stats. Let's go with the New Orleans Saints. We had Jameis Winston, 23 of 34, 269 yards, 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. You had Taysom Hill, 4 carries, 81 yards. He had that big run that set up another touchdown that he had. Which brings me to my point. What were the Saints thinking on that 2-point conversion? You had Taysom Hill hot and ready, like the pizza, you know what I'm saying, at Caesars, you know what I'm saying, at Little Caesars. You had this man ready, running all over these boys. This dude had a 20.2 yard average. And you're going to, no disrespect to Mark. I like Mark Ingram. I thought he ran pretty well. That fumble, we didn't need that, but he ran pretty well. But why wouldn't you give it to Taysom? But anyway, Alvin Kamara, 9 carries for 39 yards. You had Mark Ingram, 4 carries for 22. Jameis kind of scrambled a little bit, 2 carries, 9 yards. Jarvis Landry, 7 catches, 114 yards. You had Michael Thomas, 5 catches, 57 yards and 2 touchdowns. Juwan Johnson, 2 catches for 43. Chris Olave, 3 for 41. Deontay Hardy had 1 catch for 4 yards. Alvin Kamara, 3 catches for 7 yards. I feel a certain type of way about this, but I can completely understand. Alvin Kamara having only 3 receptions in this game is kind of weird. But if you look at like all the talent that the Saints have and guys that can push the field, I can understand why now. You don't have to really rely on Alvin catching the ball out the backfield or as much because you have some guys that can get separation. Once again, Deontay Hardy, 1 catch for 4 yards. Taysom Hill, 1 catch, 2 yards. And Mark Ingram had 1 catch for 1 yard. No Marquez Callaway. You didn't have a catch in this game or a target. Pete Werner, 11 tackles. Okay, he had 10 solo tackles, if I'm not mistaken here. You had Marcus May, he had 8 tackles. Tyrann Mathieu had 5 tackles. Cam Jordan had 5 tackles. Demario Davis with 5. I mean, you have a couple guys with 5. Bradley Roby, Marshawn Lattimore, 2 tackles. Played pretty well. And the list goes on and on here. Will Lutz, 2 of 3. His long with 51, that 51-yard field goal that got the Saints to win. And Blake Gillikin, shouts out to him, man, flipping the field quite a few times. He averaged 54.4 yards per punt. So that is your stats for your New Orleans Saints. As we know, Jarvis Landry, to me, his late game heroics, being able to get some of those acrobatic catches, getting the ball in positions where the Saints can actually score. This is exactly what the New Orleans Saints needed. It's exactly what the New Orleans Saints have needed for a very long time, a guy that can move the chains and you're not having to rely on one guy. We don't have to hope and wish that a guy, no disrespect to him, like Callaway will be able to figure it out, or a guy like Traquan Smith will be able to figure it out. We got 3 guys that are capable of getting 100 yards, and I'm talking Chris Olave too. I think Chris Olave is going to be a problem. I think because Michael Thomas is the X, and then you have Jarvis. He's able to do some things. You kind of have Chris Olave doing this thing. He's able to develop, and that's a good thing Because let's just say if Michael Thomas was hurt and you weren't able to acquire Jarvis Landry, then that means that Chris Olave would have had to be that X guy right away. So it gives him opportunity to grow and be that wide receiver that you need. And I expect for a guy like Chris Olave, as weeks go by, to really start to come into his own. And it's going to make the Saints offense even more dangerous. Because here's the thing. The Saints played really bad offensively for 3 quarters. And I said it at the beginning of this podcast. You know for a fact they're not going to play as bad as that probably, they're not going to do that many, many times. So for the fact that you actually got the win, you have to be pretty impressed by that. I think I already read that. Omar Fit, thank you very much for the $4.99. I'm going to try to see if I can pull that up on the screen. See, Alfred says that Marcus May play was big. Yeah, it was. That pass interference. Yeah. TJ is black. I might need a minute. Ain't no mistaking with that, right? Let's see. James says, appears that the Saints wide receiver core is complimentary. Yeah. And that's something that they need. That's something that they need, man. You got guys that can stretch the field, and you got guys that, that can make moves and get separation in a box. Omar, thank you very much. He says the first 3 quarters were basically preseason for the offense. Keep working, fam. Yeah, Omar, look, here's the thing. We all know, and even if you're not a Saints fan and you're just watching this show, first off, thank you very much. But sometimes if you're watching week 1 regular season games, that teams are going to struggle. It just happens that way. It's going to be sloppy tackling. Around 3rd, 4th quarter, you're going to start seeing guys tired, hands on hips because their cardio isn't where it needs to be. Their football cardio, right? It takes those guys time in order to build that up. So a lot of these guys probably getting tired. A lot of these guys, they haven't played in real time that long, for 6-7 months. You got to think about that, man. If you ain't playing preseason, you basically and if your team didn't make the playoff, you basically almost went 9 months, right? February, March, April, May, June, July, August. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? 8 or 9 months. I'll say, let's say 8 months. All right. You went 8 months without any type of, real hardcore physical activity like that. So it takes some time in order for you to develop. Tanya, thank you very much for the $10. Says everything you said about the media narrative of Jameis Winston is spot on. Well, I appreciate that, Tanya. Some people may not agree with that. I mean, you're entitled to your opinion, but I just say, man, you got to be blind not to see that. TJ, I keep receipts. Everybody who has something to say about Werner and Jameis, including people in this chat, he put that in there. I got to say it like him. And Jameis, including people in the chat, I'm waiting on you to say you've been a fan, and now all of a sudden you support him. King Arthur, yeah, man, definitely we keep the receipts. And speaking of receipts, I don't know if everybody was here at the beginning of the show, but I had the privilege of being on the Atlanta Falcons Nation podcast. Now, some of you that have been here since the beginning, thank you all so much. You probably seen this, but for those that just tuned in, I was on this podcast and we were talking a little bit about the Atlanta Falcons, and we got to a point where we were talking about the Falcons, and one of the guys, Blackberry, shouts out to him. He had this to say.
I think with the Saints, I think it's a lot of what the Saints fans feel. I think y'all team feel. I think y'all really believe that y'all still amongst the cream of the crop of the NFC, and y'all not. Not even close.
Winston on 1st and goal to the end zone. Touchdown, Michael Thomas.
You're not even going to be on top of this division. You're not even going to be second in this division.
That they're about to play. Bring more pressure.
Winston, soft touch. It's Thomas.
And I really believe that y'all really think that y'all still are pretty damn good, but y'all not.
Winston throws, end zone, touchdown! It's Thomas again!
I think we gonna humble y'all, not for just one game, but for 2 games. Y'all gonna get humbled.
Trailing by 2. Winston with loads of time, fires downfield, and Landry a spectacular catch.
Because we're going to knock you in the mouth. Because these ain't the pushover, run over Falcons from the past.
Will Lutz from 51 to give New Orleans the lead. It is good.
This ain't the Falcons that everybody see on their schedule and mark a check next to it for a win.
And the Saints win the season opener in dramatic come-from-behind fashion, trailed by 16 points in the fourth quarter.
This ain't going to be that Falcons. Y'all got the honor this year of being the first victim. To be the first example. Y'all had the honor of being that this year.
Oh man, that's hilarious. That's hilarious. But look, man, it's all fun. I will say this, and we're gonna go ahead and get up out of here. I'm gonna read a few more comments, but I had a really good time in Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Shouts out to the Atlanta Falcons fans. You know, I parked in the airport, right, and took like the metro train. Took the metro train to downtown to the stadium. And you had Falcons and Saints fans on there. And of course, they were talking their stuff, but everybody was in great spirits. You know, it wasn't no fighting, wasn't like nobody getting all up in their feelings or anything like that. It was just fun, right? At the game, people, talk their stuff. But at the end of the day, everybody dapped each other off, went home, right? And that's what it's about. Having love for your team, but not being so emotional, right? That you just come out of your position. Now, they did have a fight that was going viral, which I don't, come on, man. Saints and Falcon fans, come on, man. Come on, we got to do better. Come on, man. Let's not do that. It don't get that serious, But for the most part, my experience at Mercedes-Benz Stadium was great, right? Football is a game of emotions, and you had Falcon fans that was talking a lot of noise around that time, 26-10. And then when the Saints started to come back, you started to see like them kind of, oh man, I just seen it move before. Started seeing like, then all of a sudden when the Saints got the ball back after that point, before Will Lutz field goal, you started to see Falcon fans fouling out. They're like, man, we've seen this move before. Cam says, yo, TJ, I saw you at the game. Yeah, man, I remember, Cam. Thank you, man. Thank you. I actually think, Cam, I think I was walking. I think I was walking out of the stadium. I seen Cam. So shouts out to him, man. Shouts out to him. Thank you, man, for your support. And it was amazing, man, because bumping into people, that watch the podcast, not much they talk about how much they appreciate it, man. It's unreal. But thank y'all. Thank y'all for sticking with me. Thank y'all for sticking with me. Thank y'all for supporting this podcast and making it what it is. We got 538 people on this live right now. I just ask that you hit the like button. If you enjoyed the podcast, if you enjoyed the commentary, please just hit the like button. We're trying to grow the show. So if you have not subscribed, make sure you do that as well. If you're trying to grow this show, we're trying to get to 10,000 subscribers. We're almost there. I just need your help. I just need your help. Say you wrong for this. Hey, TJ, I'm going to make a t-shirt that says, you can't blame Matt Ryan for this one. Yeah, I mean, look, there's going to be some 26-10 t-shirts being made. I'm pretty sure. Smallville says, TJ, that was a home game for us. Sorry, I miss you. Sorry, Smallville. Shouts out to Andrew Judge, man. Shouts out to Andrew. He was at the game. Hit him up. Ross, you know what I'm saying? Shouts out to Ross Jackson. He, of course, he follows Team Locked On Saints. Wish I would have been able to, meet up with him, but I know he was busy doing like his media thing. But the people that I did meet, you know what I'm saying? Shouts out to them. Thank y'all, I really do appreciate that. Let's see. Us Saints fans showed up deep. Felt like a home. They definitely showed up deep. Saints fans are deep out there. So shouts out to all the Saints fans that showed up. How hard is it to hit the like button? Sometimes it can be hard for folks. I don't want to say that. I'll take that back. Some people, they get on and they just start watching, you know. They just get on and start watching. I mean, I do that from time to time. You know, when I watch a show, I tend to forget, you know, to hit the like button on those days, you know. But I understand. But I just encourage everybody to do so, all right? Like I said, we're just trying to grow the show. I mean, we've been doing this since 2018. If you're new to the State of the Saints, you just found it. Maybe you seen, like, me on another show, or you seen me, like, doing something, you know. But we're a show. We focus on the Saints. We're very interactive. It's not about – I appreciate the donations I get on here on the podcast, but, you know, it's about being interactive. You know what I'm saying? Rather you donate or not, I want to let you know that you have a voice. That's what we try to do here. And we have a good time. And we talk about not only just New Orleans Saints. I mean, we don't know – we have topics, but we don't know where the show is going to end up, right? We might end up starting off talking about Michael Thomas and then end up talking about Po' Boys. You know what I'm saying? But that's just the kind of show that we have. And I enjoy it. And it's a rapid fire show, and you never know what you're going to get. TJ with the Superman chat. Let's see. Isn't this? Yep. I was just going to say that. Thank you, Brandon. And I'm going to leave that up on the screen. I'm going to give you credit because I was just about to mention that. The Atlanta Falcons have not beaten the Saints in Atlanta in 5 years. I'm going to say that again. The Atlanta Falcons, because you know you have one home game every single year against your rival, right? They have not beaten the Saints in Atlanta in almost half a decade. To say that the Saints don't own Atlanta would be an understatement. But when the Saints were losing in that game and Atlanta was winning, man, it was like a Super Bowl atmosphere up in there for them. They really want to beat the Saints. Like that is their Super Bowl, beating the Saints. TJ, keep that intro up. That guy was too much. Yeah, man. We gonna send that. We're gonna put that on social media immediately following the show. We're gonna put it up. T. Smitty, who is a Buccaneers fan, man. Congratulations to y'all on that win on yesterday. Good win by your team yesterday. Jameis showed a lot of maturity by not forcing it. That's something that we have to take into account too. Because I'm gonna be real. When the Saints were down, I thought for sure, I was like, oh my God. I was like, Jameis gonna try to be a hero. And he shocked me with it. I was like, because, man, that's not something you can turn on and off. But let me finish up what T. Smitty said by not forcing it. By the way, the national media has been real quiet today, but let Jameis throw 4 picks. I said the same thing. I posted that on social media, T. Smitty, but thank you, man. But back to my point. Being aggressive is not something that you can turn on and off, right? If you ever played, I'm talking about pickup basketball with your boys, pick up flag football with your friends, baseball, right? You down. And you feel like inside, okay, man, I feel like, okay, I'm hitting the ball, right? You know what I'm saying? I'm playing baseball. I'm hitting the ball, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm hitting them, you know what I'm saying? I'm grounding them, right? You know what I'm saying? I'm hitting them in the middle of the field. You know what I'm saying? I'm sending them yard. We got these points because of me, right? And then all of a sudden, like, you get down, you're like, man, I got to do something, right? You know, I got to go out here. I got to hit this street route so I can make this catch, you know what I'm saying, for us to come back. Man, I got to take over this game. You know what I'm saying? I got to drive to the lane. I got to start shooting more. It's not something that you can turn off. If you have that competitive nature inside of you, it's hard for you to kind of turn down that I got to put this on my shoulder type thing. So for him to be able to show the restraint that he did and trust the process, I think you got to be pretty proud of the progress that Jameis Winston has made as a quarterback. Because I'm going to just be real. He even shocked me at some of the things that he did on yesterday. Not so much about the arm talent. I always knew that was there. But sometimes, like I said, it's hard to turn off that it's all on me type thing. And you ain't even got to be in sports. If you're married, if you're in a relationship, if you got kids, you have those moments where you're like, man, it's all on me, right? You might have some people. Okay, I can probably call my mom. I can probably call my grandma, you know what I'm saying? They probably help me out to do this. But you start feeling this pressure like, nah, man, this is on me. Like, I got to do it. It's not something that you can turn off. You ever, like, been that way, and then all of a sudden, you know, you get in a relationship or something like that, and you're like, you ain't got to do all this on your own. You know, you got me, right? You know, you got me. You know, I got your back. Or your family member like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? I know you've been doing this, but look, we're around. You can lean on us. You know, and it's hard, like, for a person that has, like, a level of pride or have that inside them, it's hard for them to turn it off and be like, okay, man, I concede, and I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna trust you next time. You know, Buckles Locker in the chat room. Shouts out to Buckles, man. Really objective Tampa Bay Buccaneers podcaster right here, man. Really, really objective. Not one of those people that have rose-colored Tampa Bay glasses or rose-colored Falcon glasses or Panthers. You know what I'm saying? Like, a person that really tells it like it is. And those are the type of people that I feel like the sky's the limit. And he does an outstanding job. So shouts out to Buckles Locker. Thank you, man, for coming through the spot, man. Thanks for coming through the spot. Big game for both teams next week. And pretty sure, man, you're going to be talking about it all week long. Speaking of po' boys, I had a fam come for the game, and we watched at the po' boy shop. Best Saint spot ever. Okay. Shouts out to the po' boy shop. Cheap plug right there by 504 Bull. But shouts out to the po' boy shop, man. Shouts out to him. His composure was new to the sports world. Now they're ignoring him. Yeah, because, you know, they want him to be reckless, because that's good television right there. First, Mike, thank you for your support. We appreciate your presence. God bless you. That comes from my mom, who's there. And I don't know if she's watching this with my grandmother, but if you are, grandmother, we did it. We did it, grandmama. So I don't know if you're watching this right now, but give a shout out to my grandmother, who has been a Saints fan since their expansion back in 1967 and has been rooting for the team. And I went home. I had the privilege of going to my grandmother's house. She stays in Tallulah, Louisiana right now. Shouts out to Tallulah. And we were sitting around, we were talking. And we were talking, you know, about the team. And, man, y'all think, like, my grandmother is probably one of the most knowledgeable Saints fans that you ever gonna meet. Like, seriously, like, she be on it. My grandfather cracked a joke when I was there. He was like, do you have a spot for your grandmother on the show? I was like, yeah. And I mean, look, my grandmother, she can call anytime. I don't know if she'll do it or not, but, like, I would, you know, but I love my grandmother. My passion and my love for this team is, I mean, honestly, she played a huge part in it. And honestly, even my career path. My grandmother owned that radio. You know, I used to listen to Jim Henderson in those Saints games when they were blacked out. So my career path, my love for sports, my love for this team came from my grandmother. So I wanted her to know that. And if I never told you that, grandmama, that's just the truth. I love you. And thank you. Thank you for that motivation. Let's see. What's your thoughts about our opponent next week? I'll get into that. Okay, I'm gonna get into that. I want to be able to give you all an idea. First off, I'm not going to do it, Lee, because I didn't watch the Cowboys Bucks game. I didn't watch it, right? Because I was actually on the road, headed back from Atlanta to Myrtle Beach, right? So that's about 5 hours. So I was in the car. I didn't watch the game. Okay, I was watching the road at the time. So I want to be able to go and watch the game to see the improvements that Tampa may have made, some of the things that they may need to clean up, and let's see where we're at. All right. So I'll have that for you later on in the week. Later on in the week, I'll have that for you. Oh, I didn't watch the afterword from Atlanta coaches. I might need to. I'll tell you what you need to watch. You need to watch that post-game show in Atlanta. Oh, man, it was hilarious. Oh, man. The tears of the Atlanta Falcon fan, boy. We were all drinking a cup on yesterday. TJ, how do you feel about our linebacker position? I think we're good. Are we deep? No. But the way the Saints scheme, you had Marcus May, who was really good against the run. So they got him almost like a third or fourth linebacker, depends on the situation. I think they look pretty good. But the thing that concerns me, Jermaine, is the depth. Like, you got to have depth. Like, you're basically counting on these guys to be available for you each and every week, and that's just a tall task to ask. The linebacker position is one of those positions that can get nicked up pretty quickly. We're to see Jarvis in 5, but whatever it is, do that, bro. That catch and double coverage was ridiculous. I'm gonna be real with you. That number 5, I think we kind of looking past that. That number 5 has been bringing some good luck for the New Orleans Saints. All right, think about this, right? Teddy Bridgewater, right? Teddy B. What do you want? 5 games? When you went 5-0 as the starting quarterback for the Saints, that's one, right? Then you had Quan Alexander had a really big, a really good year in number 5, right? Was able to stop the run. We remember that game versus Tampa on Halloween. Mark Ingram Ward for a few minutes in that preseason game versus Chargers. He had 2 touchdowns, and now you have Jarvis Landry with 7 catches for 114 yards and 2 clutch catches late in the fourth quarter. So, hey man, it's something about that number 5, man. It's something about that number 5. Oh, I'm just, that's just a coincidence. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. But hey, the number 5 might be something special. But seriously, because I'm not a big jersey guy. So I don't. It's not the fact that I don't, love the Saints, love them. But I'm not a real big jersey guy. It's kind of weird to me. Like, I feel like that's a kind of a big commitment. Like, okay, if it's legendary status, like Breeze, Jordan, Willie Roaf, Archie, okay, they established. Okay, I'll buy one of those. But in modern day NFL, like, it's hard for me to buy a guy's jersey who could be here for a minute and then leave the next minute. You know what I'm saying? Like, then I got a closet full of guys that play for other teams. I mean, that's just me. I mean, everybody, some people like collect them, and I had this guy, because I seen a guy, he had a Jimmy Graham jersey on. I'm like, okay, wore it to the game. So I mean, I guess that's just that thing. But if I would get a jersey, it would be a number 5, but it would be personalized. You know what I'm saying? It would be number 5. I think that's. I think we have to look at that, man. That number 5 jersey has been good luck over the last couple of years for the New Orleans Saints. I'm trying to think of a number 5 that wasn't very good. I guess Heath Shuler. He wore number 5. He wasn't very good, right? But in the modern era, in the Sean Payton era, number 5 has been pretty doggone good for the Saints. So number 5 might be a jersey that everybody needs to have and maybe get it personalized. But final thoughts. A win is a win, first and foremost. I'm excited that the Saints got the victory. Wasn't pretty, very sloppy, but they can fix these. They can fix these issues. The offensive line needs to improve. Anybody expecting James Hurst to be Teron Armstead, you're sadly mistaken. Anybody that feels like Andrews Pete is going to be anything other than what he has been over the last 4 or 5 years is sadly mistaken. Cesar Ruiz is slowly becoming what we think he is. Thought he may have been improving. And if Doug Marrone can't help you, I'm kind of concerned about that. Ryan Ramczyk, do the beast, okay? There's a reason why Taysom Hill was able to go yard on that right side. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a reason why, you know what I'm saying? So, look, the dude is a beast, all pro in my opinion. But the offensive line needs to fix some things. Also, the defensive line, you got to be able to get some pressure on the quarterback. Now, I'm going to let this slide because of Mariota's escapability. But if they're not getting pressure on Tom Brady next week, or at least getting him off his spot at least once or twice, I'm going to be concerned about this because you got to be able to get pressure on the quarterback. You're not going anywhere if you're not getting pressure on the quarterback. So hopefully that improves right there. I'm excited and happy about the overall team effort that it took. Like they said, it took a village. It took a village to win this game. Everybody had to do their part in order for the Saints to squeak out this victory. So congratulations to the New Orleans Saints getting that first victory of the season. The Atlanta Falcons, to me, have improved and wouldn't be surprising to me based on their schedule. Like them being third in the South last season and having a third place schedule this season wouldn't surprise me if they're not there in the end, as a playoff contender. And some people might think that I'm joking, but I'm serious. You can't look at this team and just look at those guys and be like, man, that's the same team from last year, because they're not, right? More things change, the more they stay the same with the late game choke job. But you have to say that they're gonna get better. So I think their schedule is going to help them out. But the New Orleans Saints, they were able to squeak out this victory. And you got to be able to win the ugly ones as well as win some of those that's not very competitive. But this has been a State of the Saints podcast. I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it like that. I mean, let me read a few more and then we're going to get up out of here. Okay, I was like, dang, they trying to confuse their opponent, I see. I hope Hardy gets an extension. He's so underrated. I don't think he's going to get an extension. I'm going to be honest with you. I think that Rashid Shaheed probably going to be that guy. Because, I mean, look, I want Deontay Hardy to flourish as a receiver. And I feel like it would be unfair based on what the New Orleans Saints have and, you know, to have him on his team just being a guy that's like a fourth or fifth wide receiver. I feel like that would be unfair. The dude deserves a chance to get some money and also be able to take his talents to somewhere where he can contribute in a major way. So I would love to see him play for the Saints throughout his career. I mean, he's a game changer, but that's I want him to be able to go out there and show off his talent. So sometimes it can be tough. Kerry Collins, yeah, that's a good one right there. Kerry wasn't the worst quarterback I seen in the Saints uniform. He wasn't. Kerry Collins had some demons. Like I think he dealt with alcoholism. Like I don't want to put that man business out there, but he had some demons, right? He had some demons that he was dealing with during the time, and that was a reason why he was able to come to the Saints, and he, you know, kind of turned his life around a little bit. And he wasn't too bad, you know. He wasn't like Ty Bowman. That was trash right there. You know, guys like that. Heath Schuler, trash. The Billy Joes were trash. But I think Kerry Collins, where he came in and who he was following, I mean, he was like, it can't be any worse, right? So, yeah. Play it again, TJ. All right. I'll play it to close it out, all right? I'll play it to close it out. But this has been a State of the Saints podcast. Thank you all so much. 488 people watching this right now. I hope you hit the like button. Please hit the like button. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, youtube.com. Search The State of the Saints podcast. Also available on facebook.com. Search The State of the Saints podcast. Just subscribe just like that. Click. All right. And make sure you hit that bell for notifications. Previous episodes available on iTunes, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Anchor FM. Also a part of the Pigskin Podcast Network. Also brought to you by manscaped.com. All right. Use the promo code State of Saints. You'll save 20% off of your purchase. And they have so many new items that came out. Man, these boys got some Manscaped chapstick. All right. You know what I'm saying? Get your lips all moist. You know what I'm saying? LL Cool J style. You know what I'm saying? Got you licking your lips. You feel me? They got that. Okay. They got the body wash. They got the shampoo and conditioner. Right? They cover all parts of your body, and they got the body spray and so much more. So what are you waiting for? Right? Manscaped.com. Use the promo code State of Saints. All right. And we're going to be giving away for the first time this season a premium package courtesy of Manscaped this Sunday when the Saints take on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers week 2. We're going to be giving that away on the next post-game show. So keep it locked to the State of the Saints podcast, and I'll give you all the information. Shouts out to all the previous, the winners that won in the past, previous winners of some of the prizes. But we're going to be trying to, give some stuff away this year. And you have to keep it locked right here to find out how you can win some of these things that we're giving away. All right. But before we go, we're going to play it once again. All right. We're going to play it again, Sam. It's like Casablanca, right? We're going to play it again. All right. And this is a clip, once again, Atlanta Falcons Nation podcast and their thoughts about how they feel the Atlanta Falcons are so much superior than New Orleans Saints. Y'all take it easy. Till next time. All I got to say is, who that?
I think with the Saints, I think it's a lot of what the Saints fans feel. I think y'all team feel. I think y'all really believe that y'all still amongst the cream of the crop of the NFC, and y'all not. Not even close.
Winston on first and goal to the end zone. Touchdown, Michael Thomas.
You're not even going to be atop of this division. You're not even going to be second in this division.
That they're about to play. Bring more pressure.
Winston, soft touch. It's Thomas.
And I really believe that y'all really think that y'all still are pretty damn good, but y'all not.
Winston throws, end zone, touchdown! It's Thomas again!
I think we gonna humble y'all, not for just one game, but for 2 games. Y'all gonna get humbled.
Trailing by 2. Winston with loads of time, fires downfield, and Landry makes a spectacular catch!
Because we're gonna knock you in the mouth. Because these ain't the pushover, run over Falcons from the past.
Will Lutz from 51 to give New Orleans the lead. It is good!
This ain't the Falcons that everybody see on their schedule and mark a check next to it for a win.
And the Saints win the season opener in dramatic come-from-behind fashion, trailed by 16 points in the fourth quarter.
This ain't gonna be that Falcons. Y'all got the honor this year of being the first victim, to be the first example. Y'all had the honor of being that this year.